Here in America, we will have a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. Regardless of whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter if you're gay or straight, it doesn't matter if you are black or white or Asian or Indian, or any other ethnic group. It doesn't matter what your country of origin is, or the spelling of your last name. It does not matter if you are Catholic or Protestant, Muslim or Jew, and it doesn't matter if you don't believe at all. It does not matter if you're rich or poor or common or famous. In this country, in these United States, under those colors of red, white, and blue, in this country, all Americans are created free and equal, and we will rise or fall based on our merit, and we will be judged by the content of our character, not the color of our skin. That is the core organizing principle of the United States of America, and that is why we fight.
Oh man, I love that video. Always pumps me up. Good morning. Happy Friday to everybody. Good morning, Facebook, YouTube, and the Dallas-Fort Worth area here in beautiful Texas. Welcome to the Dallas Recruiting Battalion's Q&A live stream. I'm Josh Hernandez. I'm with the Army's virtual recruiting team based out of Dallas, Texas, and I'll be your host for today. Now, today's program is very special for a couple reasons. One, we're doing it live in our super secret quarantine headquarters. And two, I have not one, but two drill sergeants who are going to be answering all your questions in the allotted time that we have. And I'm very excited to share their stories and get some answers to the common questions that most people have. All right, now we're going to do all of this and more while maintaining our virtual social distancing. Don't go anywhere. All right, so the first up that we have is we're going to have Drill Sergeant Mayorga come on board. Now, before I bring him onto the screen, I want to kind of give you a little bit of his credentials and backstory, okay? I had to write these suckers down, otherwise I forget all of them. All right, so one thing I wanted to throw out there was he is Ranger certified, he is airborne, he is aerosol, he is combatives level 2000 bazillion, I'm pretty sure by now. He is a master fitness trainer for the Army. He is a master resiliency trainer as well, and he's a rappel master. He's just master of everything, right? We'll see how his career unfolds. I think he's been in for about 10 years. So without further ado, I'll bring in Drill Sergeant Mayorga. How's it going, Drill Sergeant?
Hey, it's going good, Sergeant Hernandez. Thank you for bringing me on board. Thank you for the opportunity.
Hey, pleasure to have you on here. So we'll get right into it. Please tell us your story.
All right, so I like to tell people, anything's possible right off the bat. I am first generation here in the United States. I'm originally from Mexico. My parents brought me here when I was around 5 years old, and it was always a dream of mine, to join the Army. I was either Army or law enforcement, and I was blessed enough to be able to join the Army. So I'm originally from El Paso, Texas. So Texas is my state. I love El Paso. I joined the Army. I was a little bit older. I was 24 years old. I was already married with one daughter, so that goes to tell you, it doesn't matter at what point in your life you want to join, you can join at any point. So I joined at that time. I always wanted to do it. My MOS I picked at the time was, Bradley mechanic, Bradley fighting system vehicle maintainer. And it was great. I went to basic training in Fort Jackson, South Carolina. I went to advanced individual training in Fort Benning, Georgia. And then after that, my first duty station was in Fort Stewart, Georgia. So I was there for about 3.5 years, and then I went to Fort Bliss, Texas. I was able to, fortunate enough to go back home, to El Paso. I was there for 4 years, and then I got selected, to become a drill sergeant, which was awesome. I went to the Drill Sergeant Academy, and then I was stationed at Fort Benning, Georgia for my drill sergeant duties. After that, doing that for about a year and a half, then I went to a selection board, and I was able to get selected to go be a drill sergeant leader now here at Fort Jackson once again at the Drill Sergeant Academy. Throughout my whole career, it's been awesome, and I'm not just saying this because, Sergeant Hernandez told me, he didn't tell me to say any of this, but it's been an awesome opportunity for me. I've been able to travel, not only here stateside, I had the opportunity to go to Africa, had the opportunity to go to Middle East, and it's been great. I've had so many opportunities despite my MOS, despite me coming in a little bit older. I was able to do, like First Hernandez said, all these other specifications and classes and qualifications, thanks to the Army. I don't think I would have been able to do any of this, before joining the Army or outside of the Army. Who pays you to jump out of airplanes and propel up helicopters and, do all this other cool stuff. So I've been very fortunate. I've been working hard, and it's been a great ride thus far. That's my Army story in a nutshell. From when I came in to now, I've been in, like you said, 9.5 years, coming up on my 10-year mark, and I definitely plan to make this a career. I love what I do. I love training soldiers, and I'm looking forward to what's coming up ahead.
Man, Drill Sergeant, I'm going to have to pull you from drill sergeant duty and bring you over to the recruiting side. You did great. Now, let's get to what's on everybody's mind, right? So before all this, we collected a lot of questions, and then we're going to do some more questions that are live later on in the segment. So there was one common question that kind of outshined all the other ones, right? So you're going to talk primarily about the basic training piece, and then when we bring Drill Sergeant Lebron on, she'll be talking more about the AIT and all that kind of good stuff. However, for the basic training piece, especially now that you're a drill sergeant of drill sergeants, everybody wants to know what is basic training like, right? What's the structure? What's the outline for that?
Okay. Well, I want to first start off by saying, it will be hard, it will be difficult, but definitely not impossible. All right, hundreds of thousands of soldiers have done it before you, before me, and they will continue to do so. So it's definitely not impossible. When I came in, I'm telling you right now, my recruiter said, "Hey, you're gonna go take this PT test." I went out there, I could not run a mile. I was dying after a mile of running, and I was, oh my God, how am I gonna make this? I was able to get it before I went in. I put in some work. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But once you get there, obviously the main goal, in basic training is for, turn you from this civilian volunteer into the best soldier the world has ever seen. Just so you know, I'm part of the best world this Army has ever seen, the United States Army, and we're going to make you into that soldier. So how do we do that? Obviously, we're going to break it down initially. It's fine. We all come up with some bad habits. We'll get rid of those habits slowly, and we want you to embody the Army values. That's the first thing. So yes, what you're going to see is what probably you're not seeing right now or doing right now. You're definitely going to wake up early, but it's good. You wake up early. I don't know about you. I'd rather run and do some PT when it's nice and cool than out there at noon, right, at 10 o'clock. And it's really hot at that time, especially in all these basic training installations. So yes, you will wake up early. You will get some good quality PRT. We'll get you ready, for push-ups, sit-ups, run. Now with the new ACFT, you go back, take a shower. Because obviously you'll be stinking by then, so you got to take a shower, right? We'll give you a shower, and then you're going to go right into chow. We're always going to feed you because it's part of the performance triad, right? Sleep, activity, and food. So if you don't eat, you won't be able to perform. If you don't sleep properly, you won't be able to perform as well. So with that being said, you will get enough sleep, all right? You will get at least 7 hours of sleep, so you'll be good. Probably more sleep than you get in right now. Some people stay up. I know it was me staying up playing video games till like 2 in the morning, right? And I didn't get any quality sleep. We will ensure you get that quality sleep. You'll get there, and we start the training day. Whatever the training may be for the day, whether it be range operations, classes, it may be field exercises, whatever it is you're going to learn for that day, we're going to conduct training. So throughout the day, we're going to push you hard. We're going to, just remember, your body can do a lot more than you think. Your mind is powerful. So as long as you have that motivation in the forefront of your mind, you'll be fine. Everybody joins for a reason. So whatever your reason was for joining, you got to keep it in mind throughout the whole time in basic training. Now, for a lot of people, basic training is probably going to be the hardest thing you can do in your career. That's if you don't want to push yourself and do other things, which is fine, but that might be the hardest thing you do in your career. So once you're there, it'll be great. You're going to have your battle buddies to your left and to your right, other people that volunteer with you, and you guys are all going to go through it together. You're going to get great training. It's going to be tough and realistic training. So once again, I like to say, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's not going to be easy, but you can do it. I did it. Many people have done it. I'm telling you, I weighed 120 pounds when I joined the Army. 120 pounds, I was small. I was struggling with push-ups. I was struggling with my run. But, the drill sergeants pushed me and actually brought out that full potential that was inside me. So throughout the whole day, you're going to get great training. You're going to finish with training, do your dinner chow, right? You're going to feed you again. And then we'll do a little bit more training toward the end of the night before you go into your personal time where you will, have time to shower, write letters back home, and, read a book or whatever. Now, I did say write letters, just so you know, you're not going to have your phone. And you know what? Let me tell you, you will survive without your phone, right? I've seen it. You might think you can't, but I guarantee you can survive without your phone. We're going to give you plenty of activities. We're going to keep your mind engaged. And all these new concepts we're going to introduce, you're going to be fine. You're going to survive. And when you get your phone back, you're going to appreciate it that much more. But that's pretty much a scope, you know, your day in, day out of your daily activities in basic combat training.
So as a recruiter, right? I've been in the recruiting realm since 2013. I like to tell people, you know, it's broken down into phases, right? The Army doesn't just like, hey, you know what, day one, we're running 20,000 miles. Like, it doesn't work like that, right? A lot of it, the methodology is very much crawl, walk, run, right? It's very,
Right.
it's, you know, we're gonna do some instruction, we're gonna do some hands-on, and then we're gonna actually implement what we just learned. It's broken down into what, red, white, and blue, is it?
Okay, yes. So basically, you're going to have 3 phases, red, white, and blue phase. And you explain it perfectly, the crawl, walk, run. Obviously, we're never going to expect you to do something that we never taught you. So you're never going to show up and be like, hey, I expect you to qualify with your weapon and shoot 40 out of 40. It's not going to happen. All right, we're going to teach you first. So there's different portions. You're going to get some classroom instruction. You're going to get some hands-on, and then you're going to get your evaluations. But yes, red, white, and blue. So it just depicts the levels of training you're going to be doing. So obviously, when you first get there, there's going to be a lot more drill sergeants, a lot more hands-on, a lot more intense, because we want to build that muscle endurance. We want to build that muscle memory for you to get there. If you look at the events that you will be conducting at the end of basic training in blue phase, initially you might think like, you know what, I can't do that. I won't be able to do that. And you probably couldn't at that moment. And this is why we have these 3 phases, right? These 3 stepping blocks for you to get to that final culminating event where you will be able to perform all these activities. So, you know, everything increases in intensity and toughness, you know, as we go along. So we start off recognizing that, you know, these civilian volunteers, you know, you come in and you're not going to be maybe there yet, but we're going to get you there. So you start in red phase, it's a little bit more intense, a lot longer training days. You know, you're just getting your body used to it. So then you get into white phase. Red phase is definitely the soldier process, okay? So we want to teach you the Army values. We'll talk about the warrior ethos, what the soldier creed means, what living the Army life is. We're going to talk about SHARP, EO, you know, equal opportunity, sexual harassment, all this stuff, so you can know what the Army is like. And then we're going to teach you the basic stuff: how to march, how to stand, different rest positions, all right, how to salute, all this good stuff, drill ceremony. So then when we get into white phase, you're going to start executing, you know, what a lot of people love, with weapons. If you've never fired a weapon before, don't worry. Before joining the Army, I had never touched a weapon in my life. All right, so then I joined the Army, and the drill sergeant taught me the fundamentals of marksmanship, and I was able to qualify expert, you know, and that's because I listened to them. So white phase is really you're gonna have some field exercises there, implementing a little bit of the stuff you learned in red phase, and then you will transition into firing your weapon, you know, doing a little bit more of the small unit tactics, okay? Then you get into blue phase. So blue phase, you're gonna get into the deep details a little bit more on, you know, what tactics is, patrol-based operations, you know, how do you conduct yourself in the field, how do you conduct patrols, and then the culminating event, once again in blue phase, we're gonna encompass everything you've learned throughout basic training, all right, from day 0 all the way to week 9, all right, we're gonna encompass everything into one big field training exercise that's gonna put everything and all your abilities to the test. But I'm telling you, by that time, you're gonna have all the answers to the test. You've been paying attention. If you've been following what the drill sergeants have been telling you, we're gonna give you all the answers to the test. We're gonna prepare you. Let me tell you, drill sergeants will stay late. Our hours are long. It's no secret. We'll be there from 4:30 in the morning since you wake up, all the way to 9, 10 o'clock at night. You know, it doesn't matter. It's our job. Most of us, you know, we love what we do. So even after the training day, if you're having issues, you know, drill sergeant, I'm having issues with this. Drill sergeant will stay there and do concurrent training to help you achieve those milestones, all right, and pass your evaluations. So that's kind of what it's like. Crawl, walk, run phase, red, white, and blue. Red focuses on solidification skills. White phase focuses on marksmanship, introduction to small unit tactics, and then you get into blue phase, where you're gonna get more into the unit tactics, patrol, stuff like that, and then you're gonna encompass everything you've learned throughout that PCT.
Excellent. So let me ask you this: from your experience, what is a recruit's hardest part? Like, what is, like, if you had to choose one thing that you would say, hey, you know what, you have a higher chance of having a problem with this, what would it be?
So honestly, you know, a lot of people think it's physically. Physically, you're gonna get there. We're gonna get you there. But really, it's the mental toughness. Okay, we get it. People get homesick. I had it too. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I'll be lying here. I tell you, I cried a couple times in basic training. Don't tell anyone else I said that. Okay, but I did cry a couple times when I was in basic training. I was like, yo, I miss my wife. I miss my daughter. I miss my family. I miss my lifestyle, doing what I want. But you know what? The hardest thing would definitely be that mental toughness, keeping your head in the game. And this is why when we started, I said, whatever your reason is, whether you're joining for, opportunities, for career, for school, whatever the case may be, that's fine. Whatever motivates you, keep that in the forefront of your mind, because if you do that, then you'll be able to succeed day by day. When it gets hard that day, you're going to say, you know what? I'm doing this to better my life. I'm doing this to get a better education. I'm doing this to provide for my family. Whatever your motivation is, if you can keep that up there, you'll be fine. But the hardest thing, Sergeant Hernandez, would definitely be the mental, your mind. You're probably going to be your own worst enemy out there. But if you're able to keep that motivation in the forefront of your mind, then that'll push you and propel you forward to succeed in basic training.
Awesome. So let me ask you this then. What is your main goal as a drill sergeant? Not like the prescribed description of what a drill sergeant should be or whatever. Like you, Drill Sergeant Mayorga, what is your goal for your recruits when you were a drill sergeant on the trail?
Okay, so like I said initially, right? I do truly believe this. We are the best fighting forwards the world has ever seen, and I'm not saying it. I really do believe it. So me as a drill sergeant, my main goal is to continue to provide those well-trained, highly trained soldiers so that the Army can continue. My time's going to come to an end, and I'm going to have to get out. The Army will continue to move forward because our mission is to fight and win our nation's wars. So somebody's going to have to take my spot. One of you guys that one day eventually will be wearing this hat, all right, and be doing what I'm doing at the time. So my goal is to give you the best training possible, to give you all the knowledge that I can give you in those 9 weeks so that you can be successful. Also, I want to leave a good lasting impression in my recruits, right, my trainees. Now, I'm going to tell you this, and I'm pretty sure it's the same for Drill Sergeant Lebron-Brown and, Sergeant Hernandez. I never forgot my drill sergeants. Never, ever. To this day, I remember their faces vividly. I still follow up with them. I know where they are in this life and their career. So you're never going to forget your drill sergeant. So my goal is, I don't want you to forget me, but I don't want you to forget me in a good way. All right? So I don't want you to think like, man, he didn't really teach me. All he did was yell at me. All he did was do this and that. No, I want you to remember me as like, you know what? He was tough. And he pushed me to my limits, but he taught me so much. I learned so much. I saw what good leadership was. I learned what being a good soldier was. So that's my ultimate goal. Leave a lasting impression on soldiers' lives so I can continue and do bigger and better things in the Army.
That's well said. That's well said. And that brings me to a piece of curiosity. So you have kids, right?
Yes.
What is it? Is it 2 boys?
So I got 2 girls.
2 girls. Okay. All right. So maybe you can answer this for me. I've never been a drill sergeant, right? All I can usually kind of parallel leadership styles in the Army with parenting. It kind of goes hand in hand in my head anyway, right? And I have a boy and a girl. Is it or is it not, or to what degree is it like having your own kids? Like, so in my mind, I'm thinking, I'm raising my children. I'm raising them to prepare them for the world, and I'm raising them to prepare them to stand on their own 2 feet, and I'm raising them to think by themselves and not need me to that kind of degree. Is that a fair statement for a drill sergeant in the drill sergeant realm?
Yes, most definitely. It definitely is. So, a parent, I like to say, it's not just somebody that has a kid and has, you bring somebody into the world. It's definitely a mentor and a teacher and a coach in life, right? So, that's what we do. You'd be surprised, and there's no shame. Some people come up in a rough background, right? Some people come up with maybe not the same opportunities other people have, whatever the case may be. And they might come to us, and they've never had that structure at home. They didn't have, they had that rough environment. They didn't have that figure to guide them and coach them in the right direction. So it definitely is that way. A lot of trainees come, and, I've had trainees that grew up in foster home, which is fine. So they've never had that stable home. And then they come to us, and, they see that we care for them, that I care for them. And they kind of see that paternal figure to some extent. But as far as myself, yes, we ended up teaching some trainees how to even tie their shoes, how to actually shave. Some men come in, you're 18, so maybe you have never shaved in your life. So we're teaching you how to do the shaving stuff. And then towards the end of basic training, once you've already about to graduate the last week, we sit down and talk a little bit more into detail into the future, right? We've done the training, you're about to graduate. Now, what's next? So we talk about how can you be successful in the Army? How can you be successful in your life, personal life, about finances? We tell them don't go out and buy this car at 35% interest rate right away because now you got some money, right? So we talk about that stuff and help you guys out. I mean, because they did that for me, and I want to impart the same knowledge, So it goes much further than just Army training and, fighting and winning our nation's war. We become that mentor for people in the whole soldier concept, okay? Just not just a good soldier, but also we want you to be a good civilian. Remember, once you wear this uniform, you're representing something much bigger than yourself. So whatever you do out there, if you owe bills, guess what? They can say, hey, this soldier owes bills. They're not going to say, Mr. So-and-so. They're going to say, this soldier owes bills. Look, he's even in the Army and he's doing this. So we want to help you with that, right? If you don't have the skills, that's fine. There's going to be a lot of great leaders in the Army that are going to help you and provide you with that knowledge and for life, you know?
Right on. So I want to go back to something you said where you teach. Sometimes you have to teach some 17, 18, 19, and maybe older individuals how to shave and things of that nature. So when we say that it's crawl, walk, run, we're talking like down to the basics, right? I mean, how to tie your shoes, how to make your bed, how to all that kind of stuff. Is that correct?
Yes, definitely. I don't know, a lot of people don't make their beds, even adults now. You don't make your beds all the time. So this is why we enforce those standards, and we're talking about attention to detail, because that good foundation with attention to detail is going to translate to everything else in the Army and your life. So, yes, definitely the basics, we strip it all the way down. So when you get there, we're going to tell you how to wear this uniform, how to put it on, how to look professional, how to walk. All right. A lot of people have this bad posture, right? They walk around like this. They walk around like this all day. You're not going to, I'm sorry, but you're not going to wear my uniform, all right, and walk around like that. So we're going to help you with that posture, and it's going to help you in the long run, how to, walk tall and proud, keep your head up. You're not be proud of who you are, much more than just the uniform. We're proud of who you are. But yeah, so we go to the boots, shoelacing, all right, grooming standards, talking about cleanliness. Some people, like I said, different backgrounds. So we definitely go all the way to the basics, maintaining the base clean so that people don't get sick in basic training. You have 60 people coming from different parts of the world and the country coming into this one barracks area, right? So we don't want to contract anything. So we help with that. We show you how to clean floors, how to wax, how to clean walls, latrines, bathrooms, all that stuff. So definitely we break it all the way down to the basics, and then we build off of that. Like I said, you're never going to get in trouble for something that you did not get taught. We're going to teach you everything you need to know. And then once you know, well, now you know, right? Now we're going to hold you to the standard. But we're going to teach you everything you need to know.
I always thought it was a beautiful system. I mean, it really breaks it down. The devil's in the details, right? Attention to details is a huge thing. So it amazes me that even though I'm about 17 years in now, total service, right? So even at this point, I'm still seeing things that's like, man, it really does build up upon itself, and you do things that are muscle memory, that are whatever, but those discipline parts, I guess, come full fold later on, So another question that I got a lot of when we were prepping for this whole piece was about the forge, right? So can you explain a little bit about the forge? What is it about? At what phase does it come in, and what's the purpose behind that?
Okay, yeah. So the forge, you're definitely gonna come in Blueface. So I said, it's a culminating event. The forge, it will be a culminating event that's gonna put everything you've learned in basic training to the test. So it will be around week 7 of basic training. All right, give or take, depending on the training, whatever you're doing. Around week 7, it's in Blueface. So by this time, you've learned everything. Your body has already been used to, been exposed to the elements, been exposed to brucking, all right, under load with the bag on your back, with distances. So the forge all is gonna be, it's about 4 days of you being out there in the field. So if you like camping, hey, the Army provides free camping. We do it all the time. So you'll be out there in the woods, all right, patrolling, doing all the things that you've been taught. So you're gonna get out there. You will do a lot of walking. Now, I've had this question, Drusar, why do we do all this walking? Like, oh man, my feet hurt. Yes, I got it. But guess what? If you do go to combat, right, and your vehicle goes down, your aircraft goes down, whatever the case may be, well, guess what? You got your feet, and you need to still be able to accomplish the mission. Okay, so this is why we do that. So you will do a lot of walking, rucking for prescribed times. You're gonna get to a training site. You're gonna set up your patrol base. Your patrol base is just pretty much, the area you work out of to conduct your missions. Okay, so you just provide security for your team, and then you conduct missions out of. And then you stop that. You break down. You ruck again to another training site. Okay, you do this. You do another mission. So it's gonna be mission after mission. Okay, you do day missions, night missions. You conduct the night infiltration course. This is an awesome course. All right, I had so much fun doing it. It's difficult. It definitely brings a little bit of fear, but it's so awesome. The adrenaline you get and the rush you get from it. Okay, so you're just gonna come over a wall, and you're just gonna crawl on the sand, all the way across the other side. That's why it's called the night infiltration course. It's dark time, can't see anything. You got some pyrotechnics flying over you, simulating, battle. Obviously, we're never gonna put you in real danger like that. But the goal of the forge is to provide that tough, realistic training. All right, it's the closest we can get for you to really feel what it's like to be in combat and conduct operations by that point, you'll be amazed at what your body's doing. You'll be amazed at how you can perform, even though when you think you can't do anymore, when you think you're just so tired, you can't take another step, you will be able to take that step. You're going to have people left to your right pushing you to take it. So the Forge is just like a 4-day event. All right, it will be difficult. It's hard. But let me tell you, the satisfaction you get when you're done is uncomparable, okay? Because you know that when you're done, you go into the rites of passage ceremony, all right? The rites of passage where you'll be awarded the U.S. Army patch, and then you'll be given the opportunity to actually be called a soldier, right? So you'll be able to finish after that. You're tired and all that, but then the feeling you get when you complete it, it's amazing. But then you'll see, wow, I was able to retain everything the drill sergeants taught me. I was able to conduct these patrols, these squad attacks. I was able to walk for that much distance that I never thought I could have done it. So it's definitely a testament to the training you've received thus far. All right, so all the training you've done, it's going to all come to light at that point, and you're going to be surprised at even what your own capabilities are at that point.
Excellent, well said. So off the basic training kind of topic, a little bit more on insights. So I'm a 17, 18, 19-year-old, or even a 30-year-old, right? I'm going into the Army, right? I'm going into basic training, etc. Tell me, as a recruit, right? How can I impress you?
Okay, so and I've had this question before, right? And it might be like, oh, it's kind of hard to impress drill sergeants. Let me tell you, not impossible. But one thing you could definitely do to impress the drill sergeant, to impress the instructors, okay, is to be mentally strong. That's number one. And also to always do the right thing. Let me tell you, if you do the right thing at all times, even when nobody's watching, it'll come to light, because you're going to see people trying to take shortcuts. But when you don't take shortcuts, when you take the hard right over the easy wrong, all right, that's definitely going to impress drill sergeants. And, taking that initiative, being that leader. So the Army, we create leaders, right? And if you're a leader, all right, and it's probably hidden in there, we're going to bring that leader out of you. So it's seeing those people taking initiative, doing things. Toward the end of basic training, we do have a board, and we recognize every cycle a soldier, the soldier of the cycle. This soldier just went above and beyond, was always working hard, was always helping each other. I remember the Army is a team. I can't do what I do by myself. Sergeant Hernandez can't do what he can do by himself. We all need other people around us. So if you become that member of a team, that's going to impress people around you, okay? And, with the physical, because I get this question a lot, like, oh, what if I'm not that good at, the progression and the progress you've done throughout there will show your dedication. Okay, so we've had trainees come in and they literally can do 5 push-ups, right? And somebody might say, oh my God, they do 5 push-ups, but we see them do their hard work. We see them do their due diligence and put in that extra time. And by the time they're done, these people are maxing their PT score. They're doing great in the APFT. So all these things will come out to, that's what impresses the drill sergeant, seeing the person's dedication, that they're doing to get through this, their mental toughness and their initiative to become a leader and be part of the team.
Excellent. So speaking of soldier of the cycle and all that kind of good stuff, so one of the questions I had also gotten before was, are you able to get promoted in awards like AAMs and ARCOMs, Army Achievement Medals and whatnot? Is that able to happen, and how does that happen?
Yes, most definitely. So once again, right, to get an award, all right, we don't give participation awards. That's not how we do it. You're going to have to earn it. So, by doing the things that I just said previously, those are the things that are going to set you apart. At the end of the training cycle, all right, they come to the drill sergeant and be like, hey, who do you think should get promoted? Who do you think should get this award or whatnot? And this is where it came in. Like it leads in with the last question, right? What can you do to impress us? So if I've been seeing, trainee, whatever your name is, Martinez, right? You've been doing good and you started off not so good. You got hiccups in the road. We're not looking for perfection. All right, we can work with mistakes. That's fine. That's how you learn. So, but we see you progressing and putting in that hard work. Then we've had soldiers, multiple soldiers leave basic training with the higher rank that they came in, and it's all because of dedication and their hard work. And it also goes further into your Army career, right? That's how you get promoted in the Army. All right, if you're working hard and your superiors see, I still got somebody I got to impress, right? I still got to do a great job for somebody above me to say, like, this guy deserves to get promoted. This guy deserves an award. So it's the same thing in basic training. It starts right off the bat in basic training. So do the right thing, push hard, work hard, all right? We want you to be the best version of yourself. Everybody's different, but whatever version of you is, we're going to pull the best. And if you can give that, it'll show. I'm telling you, it will show. When drill sergeants are there on the trail, all right, in basic training, we see you more than I see my families. All right, I'm going to see you more than I see my wife and my daughters. It's insane, but it's true. Because by the time I come home, they're sleeping. and I need to sleep, right? But I see you more, so we build this relationship, professional relationship. So we get to know our soldiers, right? We get to know every single one of them, and then we can tell, hey, this guy was having a hard time, but he pushed through. He was able to work hard, and now we can see the results, the fruits of their hard work at the end. And then some of those awards, would be given, those promotions, just based on your performance and your dedication to yourself, first of all, and then to the Army.
And how important is that? So it's one soldier cycle, or is it how many get awarded during a particular cycle?
Okay, so the soldier cycle, it is one. There's one, right? So you got to be that one up there, right? Now, when it comes to promotions, multiple people get promoted. So it depends from battalion to battalion. You're talking about 20-30% of the individuals there have the opportunity to get promoted. Not that they always do, but that's we get a good number. In a platoon, I'll get about 60 trainees at a point, right? They're all under me, and out of those 60, I'm able to promote 10, 15. If they're putting the hard work, so that's fine. But hey, if only five put in the hard work, then those 5 get it. So once again, it's not given. But if you put in the work, we have the opportunity. We have the say to recommend you for those promotions and those awards.
Okay, so it's a can be promoted, not necessarily will be promoted as far as the quantity. Okay.
It can be. And then, I've seen battle buddies, trainees there that were able to even get an Army Achievement Medal off to the side because of something, great they did in training. Because sometimes maybe their battle buddy was going through a rough time mentally. Maybe they were actually in some sort of danger in the field because of whatever happened, right? They started passing out, whatever. And the soldier took action the way he was trained. So then that soldier gets recognized for applying the training and caring for their battle buddy. So, it's not will be like you said, but you can be. There's so many opportunities for you to, earn those promotions and those awards.
Nice. So I know you mentioned that it's definitely more of a mental game than it is a physical game. But physical fitness is a huge concern for a lot of future soldiers and people who are kind of like on the fence whether they want to even try basic training or not try basic training, that kind of thing. So in my process of researching you, right, I kind of went stalkerish on like your records and and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. So I know that you are heavily into fitness, right, and you're a master fitness trainer with the Army, so on and so forth. So what are your recommendations for those who are trying to, I want to get as fit as possible before basic training? What's your recommendation for people who have that kind of block?
Okay, yeah, and it's a great question, and I can see how it's a legitimate concern, right? I had that, like I told you. I had the first initial assessment, and I was dying. I was like, oh, I'm not going to make this. I can't run 1 mile. I'm dying on it. And even though I played sports my whole life, I was playing football in high school, I was dying out there running. So the best advice I could give you, once again, when you get to us, we don't expect you to be perfect. We don't expect you to be at your top shape. That's not what we're looking for. But, what you can do before you leave, there's many things you can do. One of the things is, working on your nutrition. We talk about the performance triad, nutrition. So a lot of us have real bad habits, eating all this bad foods, sugars, energy drinks, sodas. So if you can little by little start laying off of that, trust me, you're going to feel a difference in your body. You're going to start feeling better. All right, drinking more water. I know some people, water has no taste. Well, you know what? It's great for your body. If you start drinking more water, adjusting your nutrition a little bit, stay away from the fried foods just a little bit. I'm not saying just completely go into this crazy diet because we don't want that either. It's not good for your body. Just making those small changes. As far as nutrition, that's one. All right, number 2 with activity. Okay, so nobody knows yourself better than you. All right, so if you're struggling with push-ups, let's say that's one event, right? I'm like, Joe Sergeant, I can't even do, 5 push-ups. That's fine. If you can do 5 good push-ups, right? One key technique you can do is look at yourself in the mirror or record yourself. Remember, your body must, move as a single unit up and down, right? It should form a generally straight line from your shoulders all the way to your feet. So your body should move straight, right? Up and down. So if all you can do is 3 good push-ups, that's fine. But if you work on those 3 good push-ups, every night, every other night, right? You're practicing on them. Guess what? After a week or 2, you're going to go from 3 to 6 push-ups. And then you're going to work on those 6 push-ups. And guess what? After another week, you're going to go to 12 push-ups and so on and so forth. So, don't worry where your baseline is at. The baseline is great to know this is where I'm at. I can only do 15 sit-ups. I can only do 10 push-ups. And I'm running 28 minutes, 2-mile run. That's fine. That's your baseline. Now you got nowhere to go but up, right? So work on those. Now, the key word is work on them. Nobody can do it for you. You need to put in the work. It's not that hard. Once again, every night, just put in a little work. We always have a little time before you jump in the shower, do a few push-ups, do a few sit-ups, get out there, all right? Get with your recruiters. Hey, I know right now it's a little bit hard with the COVID, but hopefully this passes. But what can I do to get out on the run? Do some sprints, all right? Remember, if you've never done any of this stuff, that's fine. But to prepare for it, all you got to do is know where you're at right now, all right, and work on that initially, and you're going to build off of that. So don't expect, all right, to go from 5 push-ups to 70 push-ups in a week. You got to be realistic. As long as you work it, I guarantee you're going to see that progress, all right? Slowly but surely, you're going to see that progress. And then when you come to us, even if, we're going to only build upon what you've already worked on. But definitely, what you can do to prepare is taking those small steps. Don't take anything drastic. It's unhealthy for you. Those small steps, work on those. And then, once you get to it, we'll work with what you got. But if you want to get better, you can. It just takes a little bit of time every day, every other day, and you'll get to where at least, you want to be.
Perfect. And it's fair to say that the initial assessment that recruiters do at the recruiting stations, right? That's just the minimum. Like you hit that, and you guys can build them up from there. Is that correct?
Correct. Yes, correct. So that's a minimum standard. We want you. Like I said, we want you to be the best version of yourself.
Right.
So I know most people are not going to do the minimum by the time they're done with it. Okay, so you're going to get that assessment based on what your recruiter is. Where I'm at. You work on that. You do what you can. When you get to us, guess what? I got you for 9 weeks. I'm going to get you there. I'm going to get you there. All right. So as long as you push yourself, we're going to help you achieve those goals. Okay.
Perfect. Well, Drill Sergeant Mayorga, thank you very much. He's going to stick around for a little while because up next we have a Drill Sergeant Lebron, Sergeant First Class. And once she is done with her segment, we're going to bring both of them back at the same time. We're going to do some more live question and answers from the field, from the comment section. So if you haven't already, please follow us on social media. Please place your questions down in the comment section. That way we can stroll through them and bring them up on the screen. So without further ado, there is a word from our sponsor. Okay, our sponsor is going to be coming on about 30 seconds or so. So I'm really impressed with the sponsor. Okay, and I really thank them for putting this whole thing on. So Drill Sergeant Mayorga, thank you very much. We'll see you shortly.
All right.
What do you see yourself doing in 5-10 years? What is your goal? What is your motivation? Do you see yourself traveling? What job do you plan on doing? Are you into video games? Are you into adventure, travel? There's everything in the Army. There's a market for anything. Any dream you want to do, they have it.
Our sponsor was the Army. Who would have thought? It's crazy. It's not like we're just doing random plugs everywhere. So coming up next, we have Drill Sergeant Lebron-Brown. All right. Now, we were backstage, and I was going to do this whole intro for her, but then I made fun of her height. Right? She's a little shorter, and she scared me. I didn't know whether I had to like pop to attention, like position of attention, or parade rest, or a mixture of the both. So I just kind of ignored her and pretended like I didn't see her. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Drill Sergeant Lebron-Brown.
Hi.
Hey, good morning. You doing okay?
Yes, we shall see.
Don't turn on that drill sergeant face again, because it scared me. I immediately went back to young version of me,
I'm forcing myself to smile right now, but yes, I got you.
Awesome. So go ahead and we'll start off with your story, right? So you are not so much basic training, more AIT. Lead us up to that point, if you will. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
That's correct. Well, good morning, everybody. I am Drill Sergeant Leader Lyra Lebron-Brown. I was born in Bacolod City, Philippines, with my awesome mother, who actually migrated us. There's 6 of us, my 6 sisters. Well, including me, would be 7 sisters, no brothers. We migrated to Chicago, Illinois. And then I joined the military 2007 when I was 26 years old. I thought to myself, well, I was working as an ER technician at Swedish Covenant Hospital for 7 years. Great job. However, when that 9/11 happened, I looked at myself and I thought to myself, I want to serve my country. I want something good for my family. And I want something that I can be proud of. So what I did, I enlisted. I went to basic training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, where I'm at right now. I went to AIT before. The ordnance side was in Aberdeen Proving Ground in Maryland. I had awesome duty stations. My first one was in Schweinfurt, Germany. Next one is in Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. Third one is in Fort Bliss, which was the real hard work, right? And then after that, I also got selected as an AIT platoon sergeant, which was a platoon sergeant before they became drill sergeant. And then we went back to the course for the transition to be drill sergeants, went to Fort Lee, Virginia. After Fort Lee, I went to a competition. I represented CASCOM DSOI, which is Drill Sergeant of the Year 2018. I did not win, however. I did get a lot of commendations because I was the only female in that competition against the TRADOC. So when Command Sergeant Mitchell actually put me in the United States Army Drill Sergeant Academy, yes, I said it. And at this time, I am serving in Fort Jackson, South Carolina as a drill sergeant leader. So my accomplishment, I'm a master fitness as well. I'm a master resilience trainer. I have an instructor badge, basic instructor badge, excuse me. I'm a senior logistician. My MOS is 91 X-ray, which is a 91 Charlie, HVAC mechanic, Go Ordnance. And also, I have a degree in business administration and management from Excelsior College. And I am a CrossFit Level 1 coach. Thank you for having me here.
God, that's awesome. It's always so exciting to meet people and just see everything that they've done. Like truly, that is so awesome. And it's a good Army story coming through. So just to put in perspective for some viewers, all right. We go through basic training, right? Then after that, you go to your job training, which is also known as advanced individual training, which is AIT, and that's where you're specializing in currently. Is that right? Or that's where a majority of your work piece goes?
That's correct. That's where I was in the trail before I went to the academy.
Perfect. So help us understand what's the biggest difference when it comes to the transition from from basic training to AIT, right? Is there a shift in mentality from the recruits who are now soldiers? Is there a shift in mentality from the drill sergeants who are now the drill sergeant / instructor for AIT, depending on your MOS? How does that work?
So awesome question. The main thing in the AIT, our job is to make sure that we transition, there are soldiers already when they graduated BCT, is to transition soldiers to the Army force, to the bigger force. Okay, so of course, we still have the basic fundamentals, which we should not forget, right? Our soldiering skills, our warrior tests and battle drills, plus Phase 4 and Phase 5 teaches the soldiers their MOS, which is their specified training. I'm telling everybody, there's so much cool MOSs in the Army with bonuses, but that's a wink, wink, right? So much cool MOSs for being a diver to an explosive ordnance tech, and then to medical field, and also for infantry, and then also extra badges like Ranger School. Like for example, what Drill Sergeant Mayorga have. What I accomplished in the Army is the free education, which I took advantage of, and of course for that also to pass along to my children, right? And of course having a career. I think that's one of the best things, right? So my advice is when you get in, talk to a recruiter. Get an MOS that, of course, something that you love to do, right? And the way I think of it, it's something that I would do after the military that would benefit me as well.
That's a very valid point. So I did the infantry side, then I did the chemical side and all that kind of good stuff. But if I could do it all over again, I think I would have chosen more of a trade. Something that can also help me just in real life and give me that extra man card, right? Like mechanic or plumbing or construction or something. Because now my wife looks at me and is like, "Hey, this broke. How are we going to fix it?" I'm like, "Well, call somebody." So okay. So let's talk about. Let's go back onto AIT. So can you walk us through what does a typical day and a typical week look like from AIT?
All right, I would like to address this as well because there's a lot of talk as well with drill sergeants in AIT that all we do is march. That is not true. That is incorrect. What we do, of course, in AIT, what we focus on is the soldiers learning their job, right? Learning their MOSs, learning their career when they get into the in the regular force. Excuse me, I have to fix my hat. So what we do there is, of course, instill, again, PT is important. We still wake up the same time as everybody else, which is, when I say everybody else, it's 0400 in the morning. Okay, we do PT, and then we, of course, have them do personal hygiene. They come down, and then we walk them to school. Now, when they're in school, they are going to be with non-commissioned officers, which are instructors. Those are the ones that are teaching them, or civilians. Those are the ones that gives them the classes, right? It's not a break for us. If you think it is a break for the drill sergeants, it is not. When we come back, we have the challenging part in AIT is that they are allowed cell phones. They're allowed the weekends off. They're allowed civilian clothes. They're allowed to mingle, right, under off time. And the control and the limitation, of course, manpower as well, is a little harder with the drill sergeants. However, I am expecting a lot of good soldiers from you guys. And just transitioning them from school back home. And mostly the real challenge there is because they have the communication back home, like more problems at home, the pay, problems with Mr. and Mrs., right? And also MOSs. And then, they voice out, I don't want to be here. Why am I here? Usually in basic training, it's controlled, it's limited, right? They're not able to say what they need to say. And in AIT, that's when mentorship also comes in. It's not just the knife hand, okay? You also have to have, as a leader, as a non-commissioned officer, and as a drill sergeant, besides the Army values, you have to have empathy and humility to be able to understand that each soldier comes from different walks of life. And coming to AIT is exactly where all the drama is. So you have to hold yourself up, be accountable, and be disciplined.
That's a very interesting and good point. And I used to tell a lot of people, so it's interesting when you peel back that onion, because soldiers are normal people as well, right? We have normal problems and all that kind of stuff. We just attack it from a different perspective, And a lot of recruits, sometimes even soldiers who've gone through, who didn't experience it right away, but experienced it later, right? Don't know about some of the laws that are in place and the rules and regulations and the support structure that's there, right? Like the emergency funds, the Soldier Civil Relief Act, things like that can really help with the at-home issues when you're away at training, and with the regular issues when you're just stationed at your first duty station, So it's good. I'm glad that they can hear from you, that you guys are mentoring them and teaching them that piece, because when you're going through a problem like that, you really feel solo. You really feel like you're closed off and nobody else understands. And when in reality, we've all pretty much been there and done that. And most of us came out of it with a helping hand grabbing us to help pull us up, right? Mm-hmm. And so now you get to be that helping hand. So that's pretty cool. So I do have a question that I want to bring up from the field, from somebody who's commented, and I think it's a really important question. So let's check it out.
Okay.
All right. So Staff Sergeant Izzy says, I've been asked by females, are they allowed to shave their legs and pluck their eyebrows?
So that's a good question. So I don't mind them shaving their legs. I don't mind them plucking their eyebrows, but that's not the most important thing we have right now. Most important thing is surviving it.
But they're allowed to do it, though.
Yes. I'm not. Of course, if we're in training and you're plucking your eyebrows, it's totally different.
But I mean, on the side, like if they're back in their dorm room and all that, they can totally pluck their eyebrows.
Personal time is your personal time. As long as when I come and check your room, it better be clean.
Like, see, you're about to do the drill sergeant face. I was about to get nervous again. All right, good stuff. So going back to the AIT piece, right? So I had asked Drill Sergeant Mayorga, if I was a 17, 18, 19-year-old, 30-year-old going through basic training as a recruit, how can I impress you, right? So same concept with AIT. I'm in AIT. I'm a brand new soldier. I have a big head. My ego's all inflated and stuff because of everything I've accomplished and whatnot. And I really want to go above and beyond. I really want, my drill sergeants, depending on what MOS I'm in, or my instructors, to be impressed with me. And I really want to make a good, lasting impression, right? What can I do? What could we do as new soldiers in AIT to impress you guys?
It's not a lot to impress me. It's so easy. This job, being a soldier, is easy. Just follow the rules, right? And when you learn how to follow the rules, you can learn to lead. So it's so easy. Also in AIT, I recommend to study. Make sure you know your MOSs, listen to the instructor, because of the fact that in ART, we have recommendations that we can reward the soldiers. For example, HRAP would be one of them, distinguished honor grad from the instructors, right? Also just, being pulled out outside of detail, or maybe the Army Physical Fitness badge, right? Or the APFT if you did fail the ACFT. So new updates on everything as well. But however, again, as I've said, in order to lead, you have to know how to follow. So just be disciplined. It's the easiest job.
It really is. You know, someone broke it down to me once. As long as you're in the right place at the right time in the right uniform, like, you're going to be okay. You know? All right. So you mentioned HRAP. For those who are listening who do not know what that is, that's Hometown Recruiter Assistance Program, right? Can you explain a little bit of what that is from your perspective?
Yes, I would like to clarify this. So I did have soldiers that came in and were promised by their recruiters that they have HRAP and stuff like that, but we do not. I just want to address this. We do not. We honor it. However, the HRAP is decided in the AIT.
You have to earn it.
Yes, thank you. For the drill sergeants, okay? HRAP is rewarded to soldiers who are outstanding, which means performed above their peers. And I'm talking about well-rounded now. I'm not telling you, hey, well, since you are good in ACFT, you scored a 600. I'm hoping everybody scored that, right? That you would be recommended. It's not that. You have to be a well-rounded soldier, which means you balance, right? The PRT, your MOSs, you listen to your instructors, you listen to your drill sergeants, and just take accountable and be disciplined.
I dig it. So yeah, and you know what? And that brings up a good point. Sometimes there is a disconnect, right, from recruiting to the field, because things change a lot, and policies are getting updated. Then we have new recruits, new recruiters, new drill sergeants, and so on and so forth, and it's always kind of a cycle. So that is a very, very important clarification, I think, that should be made on here for anybody who's about to be going to basic training. I know some of you guys are going to be going to basic training here soon, especially with the COVID stuff. Your stuff might have been changed over to the right a little bit, but you'll be going in June, July, August, September, so on and so forth. The Hometown Recruiting Assistance Program is available to you. However, you have to earn it, and that the requirements for that are going to be dictated by AIT and by their regulations, right? Whether that be get X amount on the APFT or ACFT, a GPA of whatever the case may be, whatever those restrictions are, you need to work that with your instructors there. All right. It is not a participation award. It is not something that everybody will get. It's something that you can get. Okay. So, just want to throw that out there. Thank you very much, Drill Sergeant Mayorga, or Drill Sergeant Lebron, for bringing that out to everybody. Speaking of overachieving and doing things like that with AIT, same question as with Drill Sergeant Mayorga, right? I want to go above and beyond. Can I get promoted in AIT? Can I earn awards while in AIT? And if so, how?
Awesome. So we followed the regulation as well. Yes, you can get promoted in AIT, and the commander does that for the soldiers. So promotion is fine. Awards, yes, of course you can get awards. As I've said before, the distinguished honor grad in school. Also, we can recommend HRAP, especially when we see a soldier that is performing above his peers or her peers, that are following directions, giving us no problems at all. Of course, awards are always given. And from what I see as a non-commissioned officer, I wish I had this mentorship before as well. And I wish I had recruiters like you guys as well before, because if I came in with recruiters like you guys that are ready, that are educating this new or older civilians that would like to come in, I bet I would have been already a sergeant major right now. So I think education, and yes, I promise you, I did not know anything about the student loan forgiveness. I paid it out of my pocket, right? I did not know about the GI Bill that I can actually have it within. Well, now you can have nutrition assistance the moment you get in, right? So I did not know anything about that. I did not know about the Army emergency relief when I'm here borrowing loans left and right. I did not even have PT with my recruiter when I came in, and I really liked that. And when I found out like 5 years ago, I was like, your recruiter takes you guys for a run? Well, I've never had that. That is awesome. That is great. Because you know what? We're here. These civilians who are turning into soldiers, they're replacing us. And I know for a fact that the ones that we're coming in right now are smarter and wiser and stronger. They just need to get on our level.
That's true. That's true. And and I'm glad you brought that up, because I have a similar kind of backstory when it comes to that piece as well. There's a lot of stuff that, like, once I became a recruiter and I learned more and all that kind of stuff, it's like, shoot, this was available. I had no idea, and it took a little bit of research, and part of it was also my fault. I didn't ask anybody. I just kind of went through it. But looking back, there are so many different pieces in place. Like there's an awesome chess game being played for us without us even really knowing, like you mentioned, the Army Emergency Relief Fund, the tuition assistance, right? All that kind of stuff that I was fortunate enough to use to get my degrees and all that kind of good thing. But it's one of those where if you don't know, right, you don't know what questions to ask, and you don't know what you don't know, so I'm glad that recruiters nowadays are definitely, throwing things out there and helping their future soldiers and recruits as they move forward and whatnot.
I agree. Just like also us, we have our downtime as well. So for us as drill sergeants, for that downtime, educate them, mentor them about things that, that a need to know basis, which you're right. I was not asking questions because I didn't know what was the right questions. What were the right questions? So, little side note here and there, and that's what the soldiers appreciate. Excellent.
So I have a question from the field that I'd like to just throw out there real quick for you. All right. So Mr. Tony Tyson Theo says, how often are cell phones taken away? Although they are allowed to have them, what warrants the phone being taken away?
I am going to talk about the AIT portion.
Mm-hmm.
In the AIT portion, you get two counselings. You get one counseling from, of course, the drill sergeants, and the other counseling is from the instructor. Now, cell phones are not important, okay? They're not important at all. So what we have is that we have them, their cell phones need to be in their locker, especially during POI hours. Our POI hours, of course, starts when PT starts. So they're not going to have their cell phone. They are not allowed to have their cell phones with them. They're during PT, going to school and coming back. When they come back, for example, our POI in Fort Lee, Virginia, in the ordnance section is 16:30. After the last formation, they're able to have their cell phones. On the weekend as well. If there are formations, they are not allowed to have their cell phones. We tell them to, of course, lock it, and you know how that goes, right? And that's when the drill sergeants kick in, okay? We tell them to do that. And then afterwards, on the weekend, of course, phase 4 and phase 5, you have to earn it. And then of course, different times. Again, as I'm only speaking in Fort Lee, Virginia. Everybody has different SOPs for the cell phone. Now, there's a BCT and there's AIT. There's also OSET, which means it's a continuous 22 weeks of training. For example, infantry, right? They're not allowed to have their cell phones the whole time. So again, it's different everywhere. So, but cell phones should be the least concern, because
not with this generation, Drill Sergeant. Not with this generation.
Not with this generation, but you know, and I understand, but we did have cell phones too before.
Yeah.
I'm not done. We did have cell phones too before, and it wasn't. I think when they took the cell phone, we're like, oh man, that's a bummer. But then the everyday, constant pushing, just mental, physical, taking my soul, right? The whole time, I forgot about the cell phone. I want to survive what I'm doing today.
Yeah. That's a true story.
That's fine.
That is a true story. So just to recap that whole piece. So every location is different, right? So although in basic training, your phone will get confiscated. In AIT, you will have access to your phone. However, it's going to be dictated up to your MOS or your AIT location. It can be from being allowed to have it just like in high school where you can have it on you, but you can't bring it out kind of thing, to lock it up in your locker. We don't even want it to be on your person until you're done with the school for today, and then you can go back to your barracks or your room and pull it out there and catch up on Facebook and all that kind of stuff if you want to. Is that right?
That's correct. Yes.
All right, awesome, good, because that's what we're telling them. So that works out perfectly. Okay, good. So next piece I want to hit up is the split ops. There we go. Man, I lost it for a second. All right, so the split op piece. A lot of people don't know that you can. So everybody knows about the whole going from basic training to AIT, right? You mentioned OSET, which is primarily a combat-oriented MOS field, right? So if you're going to be a tanker, you're going to be infantry, things like that, you're going to be OSET, right? Most MOSs are structured with basic training and then going on to AIT, right? So there are some cases where if you're a junior and you're joining, you do basic training during the summer, and then you go to your senior year, and then after you graduate, you do your AIT and whatnot, right? It's also meant for individuals who work seasonal jobs, right? So if a teacher at a high school wanted to enlist, and they're already mid-20s, late 20s, early 30s, they can do a split up option as well, where they go to basic training during the summer, go attend their normal school year, and then upon graduation go out. So can you explain the split up program from your perspective, and do you see a difference in mentalities for the people who do that?
Yes, I did bring this up to you. There are definitely a lot of differences. For example, I had one split ops that came in, knows everything, ready to lead, on the go. And that's really good. I think I appreciate that, because he's able to tell the soldiers, the soldiers or the other, hey, let's go do this. Why don't we? So, yes, they took initiative, right? The other problem that I ran during split ops is, besides some of them not coming back for the second portion, right, which I never had to deal with, thank God, is that they come back overweight, right? Of course, because after the summer, they went back to the regular ways, came back overweight, and did not want to be there. So is split ops a good option? I mean, yes, why not for somebody that's motivated, right? That knows, yes, I want to join the Army. I want to go back, do it in the summer and come back in. However, are there disadvantages? Most definitely. Right. Most definitely, because you're back in the real world, and then you're like, oh gosh, I can paint my nails, or I can have my hair long and grow a beard.
Is that a whole pizza? I could totally eat that.
Yeah.
No, that's a very valid point.
Challenging for them.
And like we've always told our future soldiers, and like I tell my kids, right? There's good and bad to everything. There's pros and cons to every decision, right? There's no perfect answer on any one route, So split up is good if that's part of your goal, and you have that kind of self-starter initiative, that more maturity level, right? Yeah. More mature level to be able to handle that kind of split, and everybody's different. Some people need to have that back-to-back. Some people can handle that split up piece and be just fine. So it just is what it is. But I think the key piece is definitely, if you're going split up, to not lose that motivation and not lose sight of what's coming up in the future. So for those of you guys who are split up, or recruiters who have split up, right, make sure that you stay closely connected with your recruiter. Recruiters, stay closely connected with your future soldiers, and really pay attention to that, so that way we can help the drill sergeants and AIT instructors in the field. That's good stuff. So thank you very much, Drill Sergeant Lebron-Brown. We're going to go ahead and take another break. Once we come back from this commercial, what we're going to do is we're going to go straight into a live Q&A, and that's going to be with both drill sergeants back on the screen for you, and we can kind of go back and forth. We have some questions that we've been collecting from the field through the comment history. Once again, please follow us on our social media sites, and if you're watching this on live feed right now, go ahead and comment in the comment section any kind of questions that you have. We'll be collecting them as time goes along. We may not get to everybody's, but hopefully we get to yours. So we'll see how this goes. Thank you very much, Drill Sergeant, and we'll be back after this. Man, I love that last one. I love the yelling piece. So we're back on. Thank you very much for staying with us this long. Or if you're just tuning in, we have Drill Sergeants Mayorga and Lebron-Brown. Lebron-Brown. And they're gonna be answering some questions for us all live. We'll try to take them one at a time, kind of little strides. Maybe both of you guys answer the same question. But yeah, just take directions from the tower, and I'll be that tower. So I have some already that we had printed out because we were collecting them as we were building up for this event, right? So I want to touch on a couple things. One of them that was asked a lot was, and this was from an anonymous source, so I can't really say who it was, but they asked, am I going to be hit or pushed at basic training? So I would say that this is a question for probably both of you, but more specifically for Drill Sergeant Mayorga.
All right, so I mean, it's a legit question, right? It's a legitimate question. But let me tell you right now, you're not going to get hit, not going to get hurt in any way, shape, or form physically from the drill sergeants or any training instructor there, okay? Our goal is not to do that. You might have heard those stories back in the day. Definitely, we're not doing that, right? We're creating these professional soldiers, right? We're turning it from a civilian volunteer to a professional soldier. And you're not going to achieve that with fear. We're not going to achieve that, by hitting anybody. So you don't get that. Now, combatives, be that person that likes to get hands-on, do some combating. We're not going to hit you. You're all going to, combat with each other. But, just have peace of mind. If you're watching, nobody's going to hit your kid, your baby. I promise you. Okay? If not, we would not be wearing this headed badge right now. So nobody's getting hit like that in basic training.
All right, good stuff. So next question that we have was, there's one on here about smartwatches, but I think we handled that with the phones and whatnot. But you know what? That is good. So, if someone were to wear a smartwatch, would that be a pet peeve for you, Sergeant Lebron?
Yes.
See, you were about to do the drill sergeant face.
I mean, we take them on anything electronic that you have. We usually put them to the side, we pack them up and put them to the side with you. Again, the SOP will dictate on what different SOPs, except for basic training. Of course, we take all electronics, right? That you cannot have those. In AIT, in where I'm at, you cannot have those at all as well.
Excellent. So, question. I don't have money to buy things to bring to basic training. What's your advice? And we'll give this one to Sergeant Mayorga.
Oh, sorry. So you said they don't have money to buy things for basic training. That was the question?
Correct.
You know what? Great question. Well, guess what? You ain't got to worry about any of that. Look, when I went to basic training, I literally got to basic training with a document, folder with stuff and the clothes on my back. I promise you. I didn't even bring a toothbrush. I didn't bring anything. And guess what? You can get there. All right, the Army's going to issue everything you're going to wear. First of all, you're going to have to worry about it. Even the underwear. I'm telling you, you're going to love that underwear. All right, we're going to give you everything you have to wear. So you don't have to worry about that. Now, as far as like personal hygiene stuff, all right, you get what's called an Eagle Cash card. Okay, that money will come out of your paycheck, once you start getting paid. And it's just for you to buy those essential toiletries, all right? So some soap to wash your clothes, shaving cream, razors, and stuff like that. So the Army's going to take care of you 100%. I'm telling you, I showed up with nothing. I didn't have to worry about anything. Within the first few days, you get that Eagle Cash card. You're able to go to the shop end, and you buy all your essential toiletries. And as far as anything you wear, we're taking your civilian clothes from you, and you're going to wear all the Army stuff the whole time you're there. So you don't have to worry about money, bringing anything. Just bring yourself and be ready to go.
I would like to write on that. You are very much a Sergeant Leader Mayorga because of the fact that we have civilians that does not have any job, right? The Army will take care of you. Some of the people that don't have a job or are homeless, right? This is their spot that will save them because the Army provides it for you as long as you commit to us, period.
True. Excellent. So this next question, I'm going to go ahead and pop it over to Drill Sergeant Lebron. All right. The question is, how do I continue my education when I join the Army, like college?
Awesome. So we have a lot of different references, right? The Army Community Service is one of them, which they have ACS, Adult Continuing Education. I know about it. I went through there, but I think you get more info. Of course, you can continue your education when you get to the military, and it's free, Sergeant. I mean, it's free. I keep saying sergeants because I usually talk to sergeants, and it's free. So I'm so used to talking to them. So if I was you, yes, you can continue your education, come in, use all the available resources that the military has. And one of them is the ACS, and then use the Army Continuing Education System, and they will guide you to wherever you want to go for your career.
Excellent. Now I'm gonna oh man, I hate this term, but I'm gonna piggyback off of that. And so real quick, I'm gonna mute your mics here and there. All right, just because I'm hearing the feedback coming on, so I'm gonna mute your mics. So forgive me if your mic is muted real quick. I will unmute them in a second. But just so that way I can minimize the feedback. For the college piece, right? So some people don't know this. You have everything that Drill Sergeant LeBron just said, right? The Army's tuition assistance. You can also qualify for financial aid, the grants, the Pell system. You still qualify for that. Or if you would have qualified without the Army, you're going to still be able to qualify for that. So I know when I was going for my first degree, I had financial aid, the grants coming in, right? I had the Army's tuition assistance, and then I also applied for a whole bunch of scholarships. So every semester I got back like $2,600 plus or minus a couple $100 because of all that. You know, once your college tuition gets paid, the rest of it goes back to you. You know, so it's kind of like my second job. But you know, that's where that goes. All right, so go ahead and unmute you guys. Next question we have is, what causes most people not to make it to graduation at basic training or to graduation at AIT? And so we'll start with Drill Sergeant Mayorga. I'll go ahead and repeat the question. What causes most people to not make it to graduation at basic training?
Okay, so the number one cause obviously is you're not meeting the standard. We do have the standards, the evaluations that I talked about earlier that you have to meet. So if you don't meet those, that's fine. You might not make it at the time. We'll just recycle you. We're not going to throw you away, all right? Recycle means we're going to use you again, okay? We're not just going to kick you back home. Maybe you just need a little extra help, a little bit extra training to get you there. So one of them, maybe you just didn't grasp the concept the first time. You couldn't pass the evaluation. That's fine. We'll recycle you to another platoon, another company, and you'll do it again, and you'll be able to, graduate. Now, the second one is injuries. We do everything in our power to prevent injuries. We do everything as far as posture, with PRT, showing you how to actually stand straight, carry those loads on your back. But, it's a rule of, it's just life. It happens. Sometimes, you come off that rappel tower, you're walking, just twist your ankle, you hurt something really bad. That's another issue for people not making it. Now, it's on the same token, though, we're not just going to kick you to the curbside, right? We want you, the Army. You've already met the prerequisites to get there. So, the Army will heal you up. That's another great thing, all right? Medical. You don't have to pay for any medical. So if you get hurt, any surgeries you need, the Army's going to pay for it 100%. And then we'll give you a reconditioning program. You get back on board, and then you finish your training, okay? So the main thing is those people not making it. The last one, which also itself, but we can't control that, a self-inflicted wound, we like to say it. If you do things that are unethical, unmoral, you violate the SHARP and EO programs, sexual harassment programs, equal opportunity programs, then, you've been trained. Remember, I told you in the beginning, we're going to teach you stuff and then we're going to hold it to the standard. That's what it is. There's no room in the Army, all right, for any violations of SHARP and EO programs, any unethical, immoral behavior. So if you do that, leave it at home because it's not going to be tolerated. And that one we can't help you with. That's on you. Everything else, we got you. We'll tape you up, give you ibuprofen, give you some water, and you're good to go.
Ibuprofen. All right, that's good stuff. Thank you very much. It's going to be the same question, but for the AIT side. So Drill Sergeant Lebron-Brown, same thing, right? What causes most people to not graduate from AIT?
Thank you. Okay, for not to graduate the AITs, of course, the MOS training, and of course PT as well. We have the same standards as in the basic training. However, we already expected them to know the fundamentals, the warrior test and battle drills, the forge. Now, this time we're more focused on our MOSs, our careers. So in order for them to go to the regular unit, that would be the main thing in order to graduate.
Perfect. All right, so I'm going to take one from the field, from the comment section. This one is from Antonio Andres Vega Ayala. What's the thing that you guys most enjoy about being a drill sergeant? So we'll start with Drill Sergeant Lebron-Brown, since your mic is still unmuted, and then we'll go down to Drill Sergeant Mayorga.
There's a lot of things I enjoy being a drill sergeant. My trail is almost over. I only got a couple of months. It's long, it's hard, but the most rewarding part is from comments from my soldiers, emails from my soldiers that I get. Usually, hey, drill sergeant, I wish you were here screaming at me right now. I have no idea what I'm doing. Those were the main thing. Like one time I remembered one of my soldiers gave me the U.S. Army patch, which they get in basic training. And he told me that he had no coins to give me. He can't afford a coin. And he said that he appreciated just the mentorship, being there, and of course, holding them up to that accountability and to the standard and with discipline. The thank you is good enough for me. And the best thank yous that I get are the ones that they're coming from the ones that I train, most definitely.
At the end of this, remind me to say thank you. All right, Drill Sergeant Mayorga, same question.
So the thing I like most about being a drill sergeant, you know, I've done a lot of things in the Army, but this drill sergeant, I know it sounds cliche, it's definitely the most rewarding job I've had in the Army. And this is why. I love seeing the change, you know, of this volunteer civilian, you know, into this transformation to a soldier, from the way they talk, from the way they walk, just the way they carry themselves. Just seeing that process of transformation is what I enjoy being a drill sergeant more, you know, especially those people that come. I'm telling you, we've had people come up and, you know, they get stressed from the first weeks and they ball up and they're like, oh, drill sergeant, they want to get in it with you, you know, like just, we hate you. And you know, those soldiers that say, I want to quit, and guess what? Those are the soldiers I hang on to the most, the ones that say, I want to quit. So seeing that mental transformation, that physical transformation, and then just their whole life is transformed, you know, by starting to end, and knowing that I took a part of that, knowing that I influenced that change, knowing that I impacted a person's life for the better. Like a lot of people come in and this is like their last resort. They're coming from a rough neighborhood, they're coming from a rough background, and they want to get away from that. So they have to make it. And seeing that transformation, you know, seeing just the whole change, and knowing that I influenced it, knowing that I coached, that I mentored, that I taught that person to become who they are at this point by the time they leave me and go to just on, you know, Lebron-Brown, that's my main satisfaction. Just seeing that transformation, and there's nothing to me that compares, you know, as far as being a leader.
All right, excellent. So we have another question that isn't coming from the comment section, but it came from people submitting questions up to us when we're preparing for all this, and it has to do with COVID preparations. So since we still have Drill Sergeant Mayorga unmuted and working, we're going to go with him first, and then we'll go to Drill Sergeant Lebron to answer the questions for the AIT side. So what has changed because of COVID for the basic training side?
And this is what's changed. Look at this right here. Not explain. All right, but for real. All right, so you know when you get into the basic training area, all right, we're gonna make sure that everybody's safe. All right, people get quarantined 14 days just to ensure that it doesn't matter where you're coming from in the country, that nobody's there. Everybody gets tested. We check for symptoms and all that. Once you're good to go, all right, remember, when you get in basic training, you're gonna be in this bubble of your training environment with the same, you know, people for the whole 9 weeks, the same drill sergeant for the whole 9 weeks. So once you're cleared from that, right, we know, hey, there's nothing, you know, any harm in the people that came in. Then we transition you into the barracks, into your training environment. So you're with the same people at all times. So you're not getting exposed to anybody else but the same people. Now, with that being said, that's the first filter, right? Beyond that, all right, everybody is now required to wear these masks, right, when you're around a group of people, which is right now our new norm, and it's fine. We're doing the same thing in the Army and basic training. And then, you know, we always did the cleanliness, right? We always ensured everything was clean. Well, guess what? Now that's times 1,000, right? So now we're disinfecting areas. We always have hand sanitizer everywhere you go. You're hand washing. We're enforcing the, you know, don't touch your face, don't touch your eyes. So everything's in place. Well, even when we have formations now, you know, BRT formations, their intervals are a little bit longer to keep, you know, give people that social distance a little bit in basic training. So if you're coming in, you know, don't worry. The Army is taking care of us. You know, I haven't gotten sick. Just Sergeant Lebron-Brown hasn't gotten sick. We're still going to work. You know, we're not getting sick, and that's because of great efforts that are being put in. Everything that's being implemented. So if you're coming in, don't worry. We're gonna have plenty of hand sanitizer for you. We might dip you in it. You know, take you back out. You'll be good. All right. We're gonna spray Lysol, whatever, and everything that we're gonna do is gonna ensure the safety of you being, you know, nobody contracting any COVID. Because hey, if you contract it, I'm contracting it, and then I'm bringing it home. So you know, you best believe I'm not gonna let you contract it as a trainee. So we're doing everything we can do. And there's, here, at least in Fort Jackson, where we're at right now, cases haven't gone up. Cases are actually going down. People are healing up. So that shows us that the implementation that have been put in place are working.
See, drill sergeants can stop COVID. No, I was kidding. All right, so we're going on to the AIT side. Drill Sergeant Lebron-Brown, what measures are you guys taking? What's COVID changed really when it comes to AIT side?
First thing, I'm gonna add the word essential. So Army is essential. We are moving on, okay? Because this is exactly where they want us to fail, okay? For this whole pandemic thing, we are moving on. So in AIT, I did ask, I've been out of AIT for a year, and I did ask my battle, which is Staff Sergeant Drinks. Thank you, Sergeant Drinks, for the info that what they do in AIT, it's moving on. However, of course, safety measurement is also the same. They are required to wear masks at all times, especially in the classroom. And they have the classes, the seats 6 feet apart from each other as well. The limitation of people in a class has also been smaller groups than before, but it does happen. They graduate with no family members as well, the same as in BCT when they graduate. And that's how we prevent, and especially, of course, our safety measurements in BCT and in AIT.
And do you guys? I know basic training streams their graduation live. Like, is AIT doing the same thing? Do you know?
They are.
They
with
are?
empty seats.
Good.
But you know what? Those soldiers are happy to get out of there. They're ready.
They don't care. They're good.
They're ready. Yep.
All right, right on. So I'm going to open up this one to either of you guys, whoever wants to answer it. But this one comes from Soraya. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. And it says, is it true that if you have a high enough CFT or PT score, you can qualify for airborne or ranger school? So we'll start with Drill Sergeant Mayorga for your thoughts on that one.
So you know what? It is true to a certain extent. So let me put it to you this way, all right? Airborne school, ranger school is all the covenant schools, right? People want to go to those schools. So, there's only a certain amount of people that, per our regulations and per the time, that we can send. So obviously, if we have 50 people that want to go to airborne school, and we get 2 slots. Well, guess who 2 are going to pick? Take it. People with the higher APFT, and why? Not just because that's all that airborne school is about, but it's a great part of it. Okay, you definitely do a lot of running. It's a lot of physically demanding. You're jumping out of airplanes. Come on, you're hitting the ground hard. So definitely, those soldiers are going to get picked for go to those schools, especially ranger school. So if you really do want to attend that school, then I highly encourage you to push and push and push your body to be those top seats, and then you'll get it. It'll be only a matter of time before you get it. So yes, it definitely goes based off of that for those high physical demanding schools.
Did you have airborne and ranger school and all that in your contract when you first came in?
See, I did not, and that's what's great, right?
Okay.
People think that, especially being supported. And once we had this conversation with just our leader, Lebron, right? Lebron-Brown. I'm a Bradley mechanic, and people are like, "What's wrong with you? What? How? How? Because of hard work and dedication." Okay, the Army has limitless opportunities; it's endless. Okay, and I'm not saying this because he told me to say this, Sergeant Hernandez, but it's really true. All right, I came in, and people were like, "Oh, you're just a mechanic. You're not gonna do anything." Well, guess what? I've done many things, and it's not to boast about it, but it's just how bad you want it. If you want it, you can do it. All right, by excelling, achieving, going above and beyond your peers. Like you said earlier, right? How to impress your superiors, like how do you stand out from your peers? And that's how you're able to get these opportunities. Maybe when you re-enlist the second time, you're like, you know what, now I want to go everyone, they'll put it on there because you're a good soldier and we want you to stay in. So definitely, I didn't have it in my contract, and I was able to do it just through hard work and dedication.
Perfect. Drill Sergeant Lebron-Brown, do you have anything to add, or was that pretty much everything?
Yeah, so that's a good point, very good point, Drill Sergeant Leader Mayorga. So we have soldiers that came in with also already in their orders, for example, RASP, right? They have airborne and ranger. Of course, they're going to get the first seat. Now, if you want to decide that you want to go in, we do have somebody to talk to that will guide us, and there are limited seats. That is correct. How do we qualify them, right? How do drill sergeants separate them from each other? Of course, PT test, discipline, right? And motivation. You can't just, because some of them do back out of it. Also in AIT, we have a lot of holdovers for airborne, which means they stay in AIT longer. For example, my AIT would be 12, 14 weeks. They stay there longer just to get a seat. So that also loses motivation as well. So Sergeant Mayorga has addressed that is correct. There are limited seats. If you want to go for it, we can put it in for you, but the motivation has to stay there at all times as well.
Yeah, and it's a very good point. So a lot of people don't know it. So TRADOC controls all the seats when it comes to all that, right? And very much like a college or high school program, if a classroom is full, right, they're not going to admit any more students into that class. You know, same thing with like in college, when you register for a class and you pay your tuition and whatnot, they hold that seat for you, right? If you can't pay your tuition or you can't whatever, then that seat opens up and somebody else can take it, and that's constantly happening. You know, so if you want it bad enough, it's about requesting, and it's about putting it through the chain of command and really outshine everybody else, so that way you guys can get that seat. You know, we've even had recruiters. All right, we're talking E5s, E6s, E7s, right? Sergeant, staff sergeant, sergeant first class, who had never gone to those schools before, put in for it, but because they excelled and they're really doing really well, right? When USAREC has that 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever seats, they tend to give them to those who are really outperforming everybody else. So thank you very much for that question and answer. Next one comes from Mr. Jalen Wade, and he says, "Is there truth to recruits being disqualified if they contract COVID before being shipped to basic training?" Do either of you guys know that?
I think that's a recruiter question.
Yeah. Well, I know they don't get disqualified because, I mean, unless you're gonna have COVID for 20 years, which is not the case, right? So
Yeah.
It might just delay the process. Hey, you know what? You're supposed to ship out, next week. You contracted COVID. Well, guess what we're gonna do? We're just gonna push your date to the right. You're gonna go later once you heal up, and we'll be good to go. We're not just,
Yeah, I think he was referring. I know, man. I saw something on Facebook, and you can't always believe what you see, right, or what you read. But I want to say that there was like a meme where there was something going on Facebook saying that if you contracted COVID, it's kind of like asthma, like you're going to need to go through a whole process to get enlisted or whatever. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't really dug into that policy to that degree. So, Jalen Wade, I don't have an answer for you. So that's what we got. So
yeah, if you already got shipped in on that first 2 weeks, if you be identified as positive, we will take care of you. We do have battalions here, in Fort Jackson that has all the positive COVID, the one that got attracted to it, and we do take care of you, of course. Of course.
Yeah. Now I would assume that it wouldn't be like I would assume that it would not go into a category of predisqualification.
Yeah.
It's like having the flu or something. Like I don't know. Well, I mean, but again, I'm not a doctor, and I'm not reading the policy to that degree.
Yeah, the Army invested in you already, and you're
Right. All right. So let's go back to something that was pre-submitted. We are looking at. All right, so this one comes from a future soldier out in Copras Cove, down in here in Texas, right over by the Parker Heights area. So this is future soldier Giles Miles, and he says, how many people can receive the PT badge for getting a perfect score? Is there a limit on how many can receive it? And I'm assuming that question is geared towards basic training. So we'll go ahead and have Sergeant Mayorga for that one.
All right, so there's not a limit of how many can receive it. All right, all you got to do in the old APFT, obviously you get a 9 in every event, and you get it. If you can score 9 in every event, you can get awarded the Army Physical Fitness Badge. So it's not like I can only give 10. No, if 15 people achieve the 90% every event, they'll get it. Now they're coming up with a standard now for the ACFT, right? But as far as that, there's no limit as long as you meet the standard, just like everything else in the Army, right? We have standards. If you meet that, you get what is awarded for that standard. So there's no limit. You get there, you're good to go. You 90% every event, and then you get awarded a physical fitness badge. Excellent.
So that's true throughout your whole career. Is that right, Sergeant Lebron? Just Sergeant Lebron?
Yes, let's clarify that. The APFT, we do not do that unless you fail the ACFT. But the APFT is done, of course, for your SRB, for your record brief, right? So we need that, especially when you go to school, and that's when we find out of you scored 90 and above. And as a PT patch holder, which I know Drill Sergeant Mayorga is as well, I wear it proudly. I don't know if I know, but of course you get 90 at each event. You are getting awarded for it. Now you have to maintain that your whole career. If you do not, you best as well take that off. Okay, but then when you earn that 90% on each event of the APFT, of course, you are being awarded with the Army Physical Fitness Badge. It's just maintaining it.
All right, excellent. So next question that we had that was pre-selected was, maybe there's some controversy, but we'll see. Which basic training location is the hardest and why? Now's the time for smack talk. No, go ahead.
I mean, I'm not gonna put anybody out there. Like you said, they're gonna throw controversy, right? So,
which is your favorite?
We train to standard, right? And then some people have their hands tied a little bit more than others. You know, you're in the flagpole, you're getting, you got more of a loop on you. But let me tell you, doesn't matter where you go, you're gonna receive the same type of training with the same standards. Now, it could change little by from drill sergeant to drill sergeant, right? Because some drill sergeants want to push you toward a little bit further than that. But they should all be the same.
That was a good answer.
That was a good one.
I dig it. Drill Sergeant LeBron, do you want to add anything to that?
Yes, that's a good answer. I think everybody trained to the standard, and it's really up to the individual on how you take it. If you're motivated, if you're ready for the challenge, it should be a cakewalk for you. So it should not be hard. With the drill sergeant sides, if I have to pick as a drill sergeant, probably OSA, because it's longer. It's 22 weeks. You got the same soldier over, the whole 22 trainee or soldier, the whole 22 weeks. And it's more challenging. And how do you turn on and off the drill sergeant hand? When do you mentor, and when do you put the knife hand? So that, yeah, you don't have it, Sergeant Hernandez, I'm sorry. There you go, that's strong. I almost got muted. But yes, so it depends on the individual on how you take it, most definitely.
All right, perfect.
I think with that said, it can also be subject, right, to the location. Like if you go to Leonardwood, right, and if you're gonna go through the cold and you might get all that snow and everything, somebody might say, hey, it was harder because I was at Leonardwood and you were at Benning. At Benning, it was just a little bit cold, and up here we were dealing with snow. So it's subjective to that, but we can't control the environment. As far as standing, but the stand, I would say if you put me to the winter like that, I'm gonna say, hey, mine was harder because I hate the winter,
Right. All right, excellent. So this next one's more of a comment. Al Barnhart says, "What's up, Drill Sergeant Leader LeBron?"
Hi, Drill Sergeant Barnhart. No battle. Sonic, no Hornets.
All right. So in the interest of time, it's I have 11:33 in the Central Time Zone, so I know you guys need to head out so that you can grab some chow. I'm on a 4-day weekend, but you guys are not, unfortunately. Poke that bear a little bit. I'm gonna get that drill sergeant face at the end. So I'm gonna go through a couple more questions for you guys. Let's see. Some that we were getting majority of questions asked on was, does it matter what type of sports bras or undergarments I bring to basic training? And that was from a female future soldier down in Central Texas.
So they asked about undergarments?
Yeah, for females. Does it matter what type of sports bras or undergarments? I mean, I can make an assumption, and I'm assuming if you can go through Mexico.
I do know. So it doesn't matter because of the fact that civilian clothes are going to be put away, and they're going to be issued exactly the neutral color that we have. Yep. Black, white, gray.
You get Army issued undergarments.
No way. You got
Bring what you want. You want to bring Victoria's Secret? That's fine. It's going to be put away in a storage somewhere, and it's just going to stay there. So don't worry about it. You're going to get good old U.S. Army undergarments.
All right. I dig it. Next one is, and we'll take this one by one. What advice would you have for someone to, the way it's phrased is, what advice would you have for someone to remember when going through basic training? So I think what this future soldier Mackay was asking was, what is something that they should remember while they're going through basic training? I guess when they get tired or mentally fatigued or something of that nature. So we'll start with Drill Sergeant Mayorga.
So with me, I think I covered it a little bit, and I can't emphasize that enough. All right, just always know why you join, whatever that reason is. There's no right answer. We all join for different reasons. Nobody's gonna dog you for it or say you're less or more because of your reason. So whatever your reason was, that keep that motivation at the forefront of your mind, and that's gonna propel you forward. Like I know I did it. I want to serve my country. I want to give my family a better life. So every time I wanted to quit, I just thought about my wife. I thought about my daughters. I thought about how proud I was in the field once I actually wore the uniform for real. And became a soldier. So whatever your motivation is, like that's my advice. Keep it, maintain it. Always remind yourself every day why you're doing it.
Perfect. And Drill Sergeant Lebron-Brown?
Yeah, so my advice is keep your eye on the goal. There's always a light in the end of the tunnel.
Perfect. Excellent. So that'll about wrap it up. I have one statement for Drill Sergeant Mayorga from Edward Santos. It says, Abel says, Army strong. All right. So
what's up, Edward?
Thank you both for being on here with us. Truly appreciate it. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for taking your own time, because I know that you guys are using up your lunch hours and all that kind of good stuff. So we truly appreciate it. I'll get with you offline when it comes to some extras that I have in mind for you guys. All right. Thank you very much. And thank you all for attending this live session on Facebook and YouTube. Thank you to everybody who asked questions. If you asked a question in the comment section and I didn't get to it, I apologize. But it is taken in stride, and we have a limited amount of time. But join us for our next live streams, and hopefully we can grab your questions then. As always, please feel free to follow us on our social media links. Please follow Drill Sergeant Mayorga. He has some really good fitness tips on his Instagram. Do not follow Drill Sergeant Lebron-Brown. She follows you.
That's a good one. I like that.
So thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. Stay safe. Enjoy your weekend. Everybody else, enjoy the Memorial Day weekend. Don't lose sight of what it's about. Please keep in mind those who came before us and paved the way for us to be where we're at today and enjoy what we do enjoy today. So God bless you guys, and we'll see you guys next time.